guys? Bud here with Dependable Lawn Care, and today is Saturday, which is maintenance day for me whenever I'm not on shift. So I'm going to be changing blades on both mowers today, both of the Z3X mowers. Be taking the Scag mulch blades off and putting my standard blades back on, but I'm also going to be putting on the factory stripe kit on my Z3X mowers. Not because I'm expecting it to help with striping, because honestly they stripe great already and I don't really think I need any help in that area. The main reason that I'm putting them on is because in the past with mowers that I've had, I've noticed that with the stripe kits they actually help in the fall with leaf cleanup and leaf mulching, because you have something all the way across the back of the deck that's kind of helping keep some of those leaves under the deck a little bit longer. It also helps with that production of suction on the ICD deck. So anyway, I'll be putting those on the mowers today, and I'm going to be putting the Z-Rator back on my 52-inch Z3X for some aerations tomorrow. So anyway, got a lot of things going on this morning, and just thought I'd take you guys along and also show you my new setup. I haven't been using the Fisher mower lift for a while now. In fact, I sold it because I set up a chain hoist off of the new deck that I built. I made it extra heavy duty right in the area of my shop so that I could do so, and so I've got that set up, and I'm using that and loving it. When I was growing up, it seemed like my grandfather always had a chain hoist set up in his shop, and he would use that thing for everything from pulling engines to sharpening mower blades, working on tractors. I mean, you name it. Of course, his was probably quite a bit bigger. I just have a 2-ton chain hoist that I'm using. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get one of the mowers over here and get started. So as you can see, that's pretty quick and easy. One of the things that I like about using the chain hoist is that it is a little bit faster than the lift. Another thing is that you have wide open space underneath the deck to work. You don't have anything in your way. You just slide right under there, do what you need to do. You don't have the lift itself in the way. And the other thing also is that I can get the mower up quite a bit higher than I could with my Fisher lift, and I like that, having enough space, enough clearance underneath to actually be able to sit underneath there and work. So just a lot of pluses, a lot of benefits to having the chain hoist. And I know there will be a lot of guys out there with safety concerns, and rightly so. You do have to have a good quality chain hoist, well maintained. It would probably be very advisable to have a jack stand in place in case something were to break loose. You know, if your hook were to break, if chain, you know, any number of components. I do know what I'm doing. I have everything set up the way it needs to be set up, and I'm not concerned about it. But you can't be too cautious, and so if you're going to use a chain hoist or you're thinking about it, make sure you do it right and do it safely. Okay, so I'm going to grab my impact and get to changing these blades. Guys, so let's talk about these Scag blades a little bit. This is what it is. These are just the Scag mulching blades. So they're the wavy style, but they also have kind of a gator blade style back, you know, the lift area back here. Let me show you the number. There's the number. So if you're interested in running these or looking them up. Okay, now I talked about these a little bit the day I was using them, but one of the reasons I wanted to use them is because the baffle that's right there on my mower only allows you to use a blade that comes up so high in the back. So back here in the lift, if it comes up too high, it'll hit that baffle, which you can take the baffle out, but this time of year when you're trying to mulch and all of that is when you really want that baffle in. And so I went with these knowing that I could run them without removing anything. Pros and cons on these blades. Pros, nice cut, had a nice cut quality, especially on the 52. We noticed that on the 52 it was like, if at all possible, I think it was actually better than normal cut quality on the 52. Good mulch capabilities. You know, they did what they were supposed to do. They mulched things up, and that was, you know, of course, with the chute block closed, they mulch more. With the chute block open, they still seem to chop things up a little bit more. I have to adjust the camera down. Sun's coming up on me. Maybe, actually. Tell you what, I'll just move over here closer to the deck. Gotta get out of the sun a little bit. It's that time of morning. Okay, there we go. That's a little better. That's what you guys need to see anyway. So anyway, that's the pros. The only con, if you will, the only thing that I didn't like about them was on the 61-inch mower. It seemed like they didn't have enough lift. In some cases, I had a lot of leaves that were just kind of staying right on the ground and not getting picked up, which I wouldn't fault the blade as much as I would say that it's not a high lift blade, so of course it's not going to have as much lift. The pro that comes along with that is that it also didn't kick up very much dust. So having these blades on, I noticed that especially the 61 was not hardly kicking up any dust, which I like. So, you know, if I have to trade off a little bit less lift for having less dust to eat, to me that's an okay trade-off. So anyway, that's the Scag mulch blades. Now I want to go ahead and throw the factory blades on because I want to run them for a week to kind of compare the two, to see what a difference there is. And then we'll go ahead and put the strike kit on this 61-inch. And also another thing on those blades is that we ran them for the entire week, which this week was a heavy week, had a lot of yards, a lot of properties I should say. We don't have any small yards around here, very few. Most of our properties are half acre, acre, or acre plus. And so when I say we're doing, you know, 10 in a day, you know, that's probably a lot more than somebody that's doing a lot of town yards, where they can knock out, you know, 2, 3, 4, 5 or more in an hour. That's not how it is around here. So everybody has huge yards and a lot of country type properties. So anyway, those blades held a pretty good edge, I feel like, for as many properties as we did, as many hours as we put on them. And I put it in the wrong hole. Apparently it has different spacing for the holes, so I had that strap turned over. So now I'll try the second one. Okay, there's one more there. Looks like it's going to be a trick. Okay, so that last one, there's just enough space between this piece right here and the back of the deck. I mean, it's just a little wedge shape right there, but it's just enough space to get that in. So, all right, so that's one side on. Okay, same thing on that end. There's just barely enough space. So that's all in. Now we just got to tighten it up. And these are all nylon lock nuts, so we shouldn't have to worry about anything loosening up once it's tightened. So here are the, see that bolt on the end? That's what I was talking about. There's just barely, or that nut rather, just barely enough space to get that in there, but there is enough space, so I didn't have to do any drilling or you know, adjusting on holes. But basically this is how it runs. Looks like it's about the beginning of the tire on both sides. Might overlap the tire just a little bit. And then let me show you the back side of it. Okay, so there's the metal strap, the bolt and washer through it. All the way down to the end. So there you go, guys. The stripe kit's on the 61. Now I just have to do the 52 also.